I have a good friend for most of my life since we were little kids. And she stopped by the wellness center on the way to yeah, you're going to love this, our 35th reunion. I
Like,
didn't go. I didn't
I
go.
haven't been to any of mine either, so
Okay.
I feel
So
fine.
she stops by and I said, "Hey, good chatting with you. We'll see you in another 2 or 3 years." She goes, "The phone line goes both ways." And I said, "I understand. I called you out. You called me out. We're good." And she says, "I just see you guys and all you're doing on Facebook and all that. And I'm really happy for you and I'm really proud and all those things." And I said, "Do you really like what we post?" And she says, "Yeah, because you're not just posting the highlight reel of your life and all the positive things that are happening. You guys post stuff that you're struggling with. You guys post stuff that your family is working through. You guys post wins and losses. And it is more authentic than most people's highlight reel of their life."
All right, all right, all right. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you may be. This is your first time here. You have found Old Guys Still Rock, or OGSR. You're going to be watching today episode 112, 112 episodes deep. And again, if it's your first time here, I'm Blair Armstrong of Team Armstrong Coldwell Bankers. You see behind me, I'm a global luxury specialist in the world of residential real estate here in the Coachella Valley. If you don't know where the Coachella Valley is, just kind of think of Palm Springs, La Quinta, Indio, Palm Desert, Rancho Mirage. Hopefully sometime you've been around there. If you ever heard of the Coachella Valley or the Coachella Music Festival, that's the Coachella Valley. So anyway, and again, if you don't know where it's at, get a map, look up Palm Springs, go from west to east, and that's the Coachella Valley. On my left, possibly your right, is my good friend for almost 30 years. And I'm going to say this week host. I'll be the co-host this week, but the host of the show, because Brett's going to bring the energy today. Brett Wright of Brett Wright Incorporated. Brent is in Eugene, Oregon. We're going to find out a little bit what the weather's like there. But in the meantime, just a little bit of background about him. He is a owner of a body shop, detail shop. Him and his wife just opened up a wellness center about 2 years ago. Payroll companies, a multiple property owner. The list just goes on and on.
Busted tees, Doc.
Busted tees. I mean, his resume is disgusting, but they all work because it's just, he gets to one where it's running, he manages it really well. And then he goes on, is like, oh my gosh, I have more bandwidth, so I'll do this. He sleeps about 2 hours a night. He actually sleeps more than that. But anyway,
Yeah.
Brent Wright of Brett Wright Incorporated. But one thing that we do never want to forget about again is, as you heard, we just said we're in episode 112. We have 111 episodes. My God, I'm having a hard time talking today.
Mm-hmm.
But with that being said, is the reason why I say that is Brent is really, really good at business coaching and personal coaching. And this has just come to fruition, if you may, over the last couple of years for him as well. It's really helping a lot of people that are just stuck. It's not that they don't know how to do it. Everybody has a hurdle. So if you're stuck in life or you're stuck in business and you're looking for that one tiny morsel to help you get over the top, strongly suggest you go back and watch 111 episodes. Find out if Brent is the guy for you. And if he's not, maybe I'm your guy. He's a lot better at it than I am, but I'm pretty good too. So what's up, my dude? How are you? What's going on in beautiful, beautiful Eugene, Oregon?
Well, thanks for that intro. We are supposed to be, I believe, 89 today. We started getting a little bit of dew in the morning. So that tells me that, the season is changing. We're heading towards fall in Eugene. The grass is starting to get brown and very yellow, which means we haven't had a lot of rainfall. It's a pretty green overall. If you've never been here, you should come during the spring and summer months.
Yeah.
Very beautiful place to be. Yeah. The political climate's a little odd, but we won't get into that. How about that?
That's all right, dude. Depends on what side of the fence you're sitting on, right?
Well, even
It's just
so,
odd period.
it's just an odd period.
Yeah.
Exactly. So I am very excited about today's subject. I
Good.
got a lot to say about it. Our subject, for those that are intrigued by this, I sent you a text and said this is what we need to get going on for this time, and I'll tell you why. I'm here in just a second. Let me get this text. Are you being your authentic self, or are you being authentic? I would say it's more of, are you being your authentic self? After the last 2 weeks of our podcast, I asked for feedback from a number of individuals, one being my wife. And she said, why have you guys been complaining about everything the last 2 episodes?
I've been feeling that, dude. I've been feeling that.
And I said, well, so maybe we should talk about context, because in my mind, it wasn't a complaint. In my mind, and I talked to her about this, she says, well, do you not want my feedback? And I said, no, I want your feedback. I'm just trying to maybe post deliverable follow up. Maybe you need to understand what the context is. Maybe we didn't explain the context. I am struggling personally with the things we've been talking about the last 2 weeks. And I have no other venue to discuss those than with people that know, like, and trust me, and I know, like, and trust you
Right.
and our listeners.
Right.
And so I really, truly am looking for feedback. I really, truly am looking for an opportunity to grow. Apologize if it came across as I was complaining. I'm really just trying to work through these things in my head. And that's what got me to today's subject is, are you being your authentic self? Because for me, when I am working through a problem, sometimes I need feedback from others. Sometimes I need help. Sometimes I'm looking for the cheat code. Sometimes I am really trying to understand if I'm even on the right page. Or as you said pre-show, maybe I'm not in the right boat,
Right.
right? We talked about it pre-show about maybe we're in a different boat than others when we're talking to them. And we're trying to pull them over to our boat. Well, really, I wasn't trying to do that. I wasn't trying to pull people to my side or sway them. I was really weighing the balance of, I'm experiencing this. Maybe it's because I need to be thinking this way. Maybe it's because I need input over here. Maybe I need to try and understand and put myself in an opportunity for growth and prosperity and ask questions, right? And so I've got to be authentic to myself in the way that I need to process this data. And if others don't understand that or can't understand that and judge me for that, do I care? Should I care? Is being my authentic self more important than other people's opinions about me?
When I hear you say that, it pulls me back to a great book that you gave me or told me to get a while back. I'm finding more and more people are reading it, but the Four Agreements.
Yeah.
And is to be impeccable with my word. Do not let people deter you from your goals or your aspirations.
Or being
Don't,
truthful.
or being truthful, right? Don't make assumptions and be your very best you every day. We've heard that last one a lot of times. But I think
Even if my best self is a broken down individual who's confused and is asking for help, right?
like today I told you, it's like, dude, I just really get my ass handed. It's not that it's that part. It's like, I think our being our authentic self, I understand where April was going with that. And Chrissy will say that once in a while as well. And you don't know, April, again, is Brent's wife and Chrissy's my wife. And they give us honest feedback. Sometimes it's a lot harder to hear it from them than it is if Brent and I were giving feedback to each other.
Don't touch the damn handle.
Yeah, that handle's lava. Lava.
Yep.
So, but I think it is that we're being authentic. I could see where April's coming from this, but and I don't want to. This is more of a conversation piece than, no, April, you're wrong. This is a total conversation piece. Is we are being authentic because we're going through what we're going through, and we're not going, oh my God, it's bubblegum and rainbows and blah blah blah, and it's going to be awesome. And literally, right now, it is a very tumultuous time, and you can sit there and say that you're doing really good, but it goes back to this. If I'm saying that I'm really good and I'm struggling, am I being authentic?
Yeah, because you can do both, right?
You can do both. And I'm like, hey, how you doing? Oh, man, I'm just doing so good. And inside I'm like, oh, my God, I just got to get through today. and you can, try to work yourself through it. I'm not saying that you have to be a curmudgeon or be an Eeyore or whatever it is about what you're going through with life, because everyone's going through something. But
Yep.
it's okay once in a while. It's like, hey, one thing that I believe that we pride ourselves on this show or this podcast is that this is real life for us. You're really taking a journey with us, hoping that it resembles maybe a speck of your life, to know that you're not alone, to remove that silo type of feeling that a lot of guys have. Women don't have it as much, but guys have it a lot, and I feel like no one else will understand it. So when we share these life experiences, it is us being authentic. It is us sharing our tragedies or wins. And some days we're going to be really high, like, yeah, we just rocked it, crushed it. I bought a new company. We did this. We hit $15 million. I mean, there's a lot of things you could go through our episodes that were awesome things about this. But now we've hit that level. It's like, okay, it's the next struggle. And there are days that are awesome. Yesterday, if you would have talked to me and we would have had this podcast yesterday, like, I was buzzing. Like, yeah, let's go. Cancer Walk is coming together. I'm super stoked about that. We got, a couple closings this week. That was good. But then their little thing was like, okay, let's keep this motor running. And sometimes you just level out at 30,000 feet, even though you want to get to 40,000 feet. And that 30,000 feet, it takes a lot of energy to get you back up, right? So this is just us being authentic and knowing that we understand that there's really good days. Those bad days are listen to what we're saying, knowing that you're not alone. And this is raw. This is not.
Yeah, we're putting our hearts on our sleeves, guys. I mean, this is not. I mean, if we're rubbing you the wrong way, we've asked a million times. We'll ask a million more. We want to hear about it. If this is aligning with you, we want to hear about it. If you want to call us, complainers and whiners like my wife did, then we want to hear about it. We're good with it. Really, again, my way of going through and processing is different than a lot of people's. Is it right? Is it wrong? Who knows? Does it work for me? Yes. And I'm not likely to change a lot in that process because I have had really, really good results with that. And I am an old guy that still rocks, and I'm probably stuck in my ways a little bit. I am movable, but I will, if given an opportunity to be my authentic self or to push down my thoughts, feelings, or responses to protect somebody else. And I'm not saying you guys that, like, you got to be a jerk about it, right? But you need to be able to communicate and articulate your thoughts, feelings, and otherwise in a way that's professional, that's courteous, that's respectful, all while still conveying the same message and being authentic to yourself. Yeah, I definitely don't want to give up my right to tell you what is on my mind, but I also don't want to take your rights away from you in that process.
Right. What a fine line that is, right? I mean,
it is.
I think you said that really well. Is we can blow you up with, again, rainbows and butterflies and all that stuff, but are you being authentic of what your real thought is? Are you being authentic to that person that may be struggling or is going through stuff or asking the question? Are you saying what you think that they want to hear? Or are you saying what needs to be heard? And that's the fine line of being authentic, of being truthful. We just talked about, do you trust me? Those are the type of things that we're constantly working on. So I do love this subject. Are you being authentic? Because anybody is saying, oh, okay, yeah, I'm sorry to hear that. Are you really sorry? You talked a little bit about it last week, Love you, babe. Okay. So what's my response? Right?
Yep.
Hey, man, you're doing awesome. Okay. Or whatever. Yeah, you too. So are you being authentic? Is that really what you're feeling? Are you just saying it just because you think that it needs to be said, or are you not saying it when it should be said?
Well, better yet, where this kind of came from for me is that I have a good friend for most of my life since we were little kids. And she stopped by the wellness center on the way to you're going to love this, our 35th reunion. I didn't go. I
haven't been to any of mine either, so feel fine.
So she stops by and I said, hey, good chatting with you. We'll see you in another 2 or 3 years. She goes, the phone line goes both ways. And I said, I understand. I called you out. You called me out. We're good. And she says, I just see you guys and all you're doing on Facebook and all that. And I'm really happy for you. And I'm really proud and all those things. And I said, do you really like what we post? And she says, yeah, because you're not just posting the highlight reel of your life and all the positive things that are happening. You guys post stuff that you're struggling with. You guys post stuff that your family is working through. You guys post wins and losses. And it is more authentic than most people's highlight reel of their life.
So here's my devil's advocate to that. We hear that a lot. I hear that a lot too, and I think that's great. So if your friend's watching, thank you for saying that. I mean, it means a lot. It really does, honest to God, and that's being authentic. I find it, I hear that so much, I'm like, why are you not sharing the show then? If it affects you that much, but you go around and turn around and like, I'm not saying that your friend's doing this, but just a general comment. This is very blanket. I'll repost something about Biden or Trump or Epstein files or Gavin Newsom or the governor from Oregon, whatever it may be. You'll repost negativity or AI stuff, but you come to something that really hits home and you love it, but you won't repost it. It's not asking you to, I'm not saying trying to push it, but I'm just saying that I feel like we have over 111 episodes, have such amazing content because there's so many golden nuggets in there. If it sucked, people wouldn't come back and say anything. We wouldn't have the viewership on the shorts that we have. Our long-term play is, and that's just the way society is right now. I feel that we're on a cusp of everything that I'm seeing coming in the future. That right now everything's short-term. So when we put our shorts out, we'll get 500, 600 views on it. When we put our long-term thing, we'll get maybe 15 or 20. Just depending on it, because people's attention span, and that's fine. However, now we're starting to see that number kind of switch a little. Shorts are dropping and long-term watches are being that way. But my point of it is, it's a side tangent, but my point of it is this is a great way for you to use what we say to go out and have conversations with others and be authentic with them of things that you're struggling with or things that you're winning with. So here's the platform that we are providing for you. Take the challenge or not take the challenge, or look at it as a challenge or not, or whatever. But here's a platform, a great conversation starter. Hey, did you watch this podcast? What did you think about it? This is the way I really feel. This is where I'm struggling with it. And have conversations about that, which we feel, we may be wrong, but from what we're hearing, we're not. But we feel is what you guys are talking about or are too afraid to talk about. So here's a way that two yo-yo heads get on every week and say something that you can dissect it apart and either like it or hate it, and then leave us a comment and tell us why we're really good or why we suck. I don't know if that's an ad or not. I don't have my First Form energy drink, but I just think that, that's what everyone feels like they need to say something what everybody else wants to hear instead of what they hear. And so when you talked about this, like, are you being authentic? I'm getting more and more. And somebody asked me something the other day. They're going through a tough time with marriage, and it's unfortunately going to dissolve. And I said something, and she goes, "Where did you get that?" And I said, my last couple months, I've been really looking back into the stuff that we've done on this podcast and how what we've said has really held us, you and me, on a different accountability, because we've told each other. So what we say on here is now that we have to go and do it. And so the wisdom that we've gained from this is there's certain things that come out, and she goes, that's just really, really good. And I said, well, first of all, you should come on or watch us more often. Second of all, I think that we have a lot to offer in doing those different things. And it's not just tooting our own horn, is that we talk about this stuff that has elevated our patience level, our wisdom, our compassion, our love. And it's been an involvement, and it's really cool that you start seeing the fruits of your labor on little nuggets that we've dropped along the way, and little seeds that we planted along the way. And it not only it's helped us grow, but it's starting to help other people grow. And because the wisdom that we have given each other, we're getting to share with other people, and that's getting embedded in them. And that part is freaking awesome.
Yeah. Yep. Agreed. Part of why this subject is important to me is I've had people in my life for most of my life say things like, when is it enough? Why do you keep pushing? Why don't you retire? Why do you keep fighting? Why do you keep giving to others after they take advantage of you? Why? Because I have to be true to my authentic self. I have to make sure that I feel good about my actions every day. I feel like I can look myself in the mirror and not have a struggle. Remember the mirror exercise,
Yep.
3 minutes in the mirror,
Yep.
and not struggle with the guy that I'm looking at. I need to be right with myself. And it's not about ego, but it is about confidence. And it does help build confidence if you are able to be authentic in all of your interactions with people, to the point of not being afraid if they don't get it, not being afraid if it pisses them off. I'm actually inviting to that. Like if I'm saying something that's irritating to you, let's have that chat. I'm not afraid of it. Why are you?
But the involvement in that, the evolvement of that is what I think is just so amazing. Great. It's just a wonderful thought just to see how this has come and helped everyone elevate is, and I know I'm repeating myself on here, but I think that's the big thing that you go back to is being authentic. And I got lost in thought for a little bit, and I was trying to remember what you were talking about, authentic. And for faith purposes, God put us onto when it's enough. He will tell you when enough is enough. One way or another, you'll go see Jesus, or you'll know enough is enough for whatever it is, whatever you're searching, whatever your goal is, whatever it is in that relationship, whatever. But he will tell you. But the thing that keeps me going now, understanding, and especially listening to you, what you just said is God put us on here to be great. And if we're just staying in status quo or giving up or anything, are we not only being authentic to ourselves, are we being authentic to him?
Or even honorable.
Honorable
right?
to him. Like
Honorable to the task.
You gave me this life. You keep putting my life, you keep making my life better. You keep assisting when things I don't think I can go any farther. You just give me that one more nugget to get better and to do and shine your light through, have your light shine through us. How am I being authentic to you? How am I taking all that stuff that you've given me? How do I be a more authentic to Brent? How do I be a more authentic to my clients? How do I first and foremost, to my family, to my wife, to my kids. And when you need that adjustment, knowing that it just takes a little tweak and like, oh, I wasn't being authentic there. I'm going to go back and I'm going to make that better. But the complacency part, which we talked about a little bit a while, if you're being complacent, are you being authentic to yourself? Are you being authentic to everything that people helped you get to? No one's self-made at all. I mean, you do a lot of stuff on your work, but there's people along the way that have helped you or given you wisdom. Are you being authentic to them for those things that you've been given to get to where you're at? So, I mean, this authentic word is so encompassing if you really break it down. I love your mirror part. Look at yourself in the mirror for 3 minutes. You want your ass kicked on a good day? Go do that for 3 minutes and say, are you being truly authentic to who you are and to what your mission is or to what you're trying to execute on?
Well, I have some of my clients that I coach. By the way, this is like year 4 of coaching coming up.
It's been that long. I'm sorry, bud.
Yeah,
I'm going to sound like brand new, but
no, it's brand new in the scope of my life.
Yeah.
I've in the past mentored folks and things like that, but never really put myself out there and said, I have a lot to offer and I'm willing to help you. In one of my coaching sessions this morning, this is a quote from one of my clients. That one nugget that I got from you is worth the price of admission for the whole year. And that's what it's about, is making sure that you're making a difference, like we talk about here. And then being authentic in your response. instead of feeling like maybe it wasn't a nugget, maybe it wasn't worth the price of admission. No, I have a lot to offer. And my authenticity to myself is, and it's not an ego thing, it's not an arrogance. It truly is. I've went through a lot. I've lived a lot of lives in my 52, almost 53 in a couple months, years on this planet. And I do have a lot to offer others. And I do have a lot of little things that could make a difference in your life. One of my coaching clients this morning is on 75 hard, Gerard.
Oh, is he? Good for him.
Yeah.
Is this his
And we
second
were,
time through?
nope, just the first time.
Okay.
And we were talking about it, and I said, you know, one thing that I learned on the second time around that April and I both learned was that we were just checking the boxes on the first round and most of the second round, because you got the app, got my water, got my reading, got my first workout, got my second workout, just checking the boxes. I said it's the extra 10% that you do, not just on 75 hard, but in life, that is going to get you further exponentially than the other 100%. So I explained to him my analogy of me going on my ruck in the morning. I knew that if I got to this spot, it was 22 and a half minutes. So every day, 22 and a half minutes, 22 and a half minutes, 22 and a half minutes. And then so 22 and a half minutes there, 22 and a half minutes back gets me my 45, right? And then, so on the second time around, about halfway through, had this epiphany. What's stopping me from going further than that spot? Me. Was I being real with myself that I had more to offer, even to myself? Was I being real with myself that I had more gas in the tank? Was I being real with myself that I could do more and do better? No. So I don't know if you've ever been out to Oregon, but there's a lot of fences, cow pasture fence. And every one of those fence posts are 12 feet apart. So I made a decision on about day 28. By the way, tough to adjust your goals a third of the way through 75 hard and add more to the pile. That's a
Right.
tough one. So on day 28-ish, I decided I'm going to make an effort to go one more fence post in that same 22 and a half minutes. Do you know what the end result was at the end of that 75 hard? An extra half mile
That's it,
in the same amount of time.
And you got stuck in that rut, right? And you're like, oh yeah, well, I know I could do a little bit more, but I'm good.
Well, what changed it for me was I was reading the book The Power of One More while I was in that phase.
Mm-hmm.
And was I giving myself one more? Was I given one more for Jesus, as Ed says? Was I given one more for my family? Was I giving one more for my staff? What's the value of that one more? That one more is make or break. And I wasn't being authentic in my delivery, in my efforts. I was holding myself back. I was holding my family back. I was holding my team back by just checking the boxes. And I felt like I was an imposter at that point. I felt like I wasn't authentic.
Yeah. Boy, what a powerful word once you start dissecting it a little bit, right?
Mm-hmm.
Because we make excuses, we become complacent, become the negative Nelly. And if you just say, dude, you're better than this. Are you being authentic? Are you being authentic of what you're doing? And how that not being authentic can just be a ripple effect of holding you back from so many great things.
Mm-hmm.
Are you being authentic? You know, we preach someone. I was talking to somebody the other day, and we're trying to build this collaboration. And I said, the reason I have you here is I want to help you become better. And it's the same thing I told David when he joined forces with us on Team Armstrong, is that I want to help you get to a point that you take everything that you were taught and go do this on your own and build your own castle, which we talked about a while back. So
Yep.
I go, there'll be eventually will be a time that you will want to, like, okay, I've got what I need. I've built up the business I need. I'm going to go take this and let's go build another one of these in a different state, a different city, a different country.
Mm-hmm.
And let's go do that. And then take all that wisdom, and then you too can share that. So when I'm back again talking to this person about a potential collaboration and doing this, I go, this is where I see that you need help. I have the tools to help you get there up and running. And eventually, if you decide to break off and go do your own thing, awesome. I'm totally
Mhm.
cool with that. And I go, that's what I want to see from you. And I don't think it's clicked yet. It's on God's time and it could click now, it could click a year from now, whatever.
Mhm.
But at that point in time, once I've been thinking about everything that we said is, I was being authentic. I want to see you win. I know what it takes to win. I know what you have to do to get into these different things. I don't have every single tools, but I have a lot of them. And us collaborating together, you can use a lot of my stuff, and I'll take what you have in your toolbox, and I'll help, and I'll use that with my stuff, and we'll get this thing up and running.
Yeah.
But then you have to say, okay, well, maybe this person's not ready or doesn't have the faith in the stuff inside themselves to get this to that point, and they just they haven't realized that being authentic to themselves is what is needed as well. Maybe
Mhm.
they've gotten their booty kicked a bunch of times. So,
Yeah.
but I love that too. And then another thing that I read in a devotional the other day, trying to, I'm constantly trying to become a better husband because sometimes I just suck at it. A lot of times, but I've procrastinated on praying with my wife.
Mm.
And it said something in it as I was like, yeah, you can do it consistently and the devil will eventually step in and like, oh, I've got to get this off or I got to go do this and I got to, have this on the plate or maybe we had a rough start of the day, whatever, and as marriage. That's what the devil wants.
Yeah.
And but realistically, it doesn't have to be a long drawn out prayer. What I'm getting at to, you can just simply come up to, hold hands or say something on the phone and say, God be with you today. But and that's it. And that keeps the devil at bay. But again, as going back to was I being authentic with myself? You're saying you want to become a better husband, but you're procrastinating on a simple little structure of just praying for somebody. Is that being authentic? So that's what I said. It's not this downtrodden thing like, oh my God, I'm a horrible person. No, it's just we're keeping ourselves in check. I've got to be
Mhm.
better. I want to be better. I expect better out of other people. But if I'm not being authentic with myself or procrastinating and doing some different things, how can I tell them to be authentic when I'm not doing the same thing? So again, it's not being negative, Nelly. It's just a gut check. Here we go. Okay, we got to make some adjustments, just like you make adjustments in sports or Brent doesn't play or going on vacation or doing different things. you know,
But I'm being authentic to myself
Somebody
because
say,
I
hey, man,
know I'm gonna, we joke at our house like we don't know where my son got his natural sports ability, but like that kid, he can pick up a ball and he understands and he can, like he can throw a baseball. Like when he was 2, he could throw the baseball over the house.
that's
He was
awesome.
just hammer down. My wife and I will literally like take a paper towel and try and chuck it in the basket and it like lands a foot in front of it. We're like, that's why we don't play sports,
That's why we
And
don't play
so,
sports.
yep,
Not
yep,
for everybody. No, not everybody can be
exactly.
Michael Jordan, right?
No, I can't even be Michael anything.
But you have your own, so you have your own parts, right? And I say that's everybody
Yeah,
has their different parts in society to do different things. And as long as if we can all learn to be authentic of who we are and what we do, and not, sometimes you're going to have to be bold and you're going to have to be kind of a standoffish. You don't have to be consistently a butthead or a-hole, whatever.
I'm talking about being unapologetically real
Mm-hmm.
with yourself first and others. So I really needed the last 2 weeks. I needed to get that out of my head to formulate a way for me to help to try to understand where I can grow and where I'm lacking and where I'm needing adjustments and when I'm needing input from others. Like, I'm not always right. I'd love to be. I think as humans, we all want to be right in our actions, in our thoughts, in our feelings. I'm not always right. And I need a gut check sometimes from other people. So that way I put it out to the universe that I'm struggling with this. And then inadvertently, the universe fills the gap and sends somebody to help me. Do I Is it easy? No. Is it wrought with difficult times and difficult feelings? For sure. Even just the call out from my wife about, man, it just sounds like you guys are complaining. Like,
We're old guys, man. That's what we're supposed to
she
do.
listens to it twice
Yeah.
every time to see if she might have missed the message, she might have been distracted, she might not have understood. And both times, she's like, the second time, she's like, I kind of understand more, but it just still feels like you're whining. And that wasn't my intent. My intent was to really, truly figure out and understand how better to communicate and to understand why it is, from a psychological standpoint, possibly, why it is that somebody will call you, then text you, and then Facebook message you all about the same subject. I still don't get it,
I know.
guys. I
I
still
know.
don't.
I
It
know.
doesn't make sense to me. I can't formulate a cognitive reason why that even makes sense. But I still have to talk through it, and I still have to work through it. I still have to try and understand. And that's just me. That's just me being real to me.
Yeah. Again, being authentic, right? It's constant change to be in that part.
Yep.
All right, dude. Any final thoughts for you?
I just am thankful and grateful that we get the opportunity to work through these things, to talk through these things, have people listen to us who give us feedback. I'm grateful that we have this platform that helps others, gives others opportunities to think in a different way and maybe be more mindful about their interactions, just like I'm trying to be mindful about my interactions. This has been a long road for me, I will tell you, and Blair can attest to this. 25, I legitimately, no joke, was the guy who really just wanted to take a baseball bat to your knees if you didn't agree with me. And that was my biggest struggle every day, was to not turn my feelings into felonies.
That's a good line, dude.
Yeah.
But it's true, man. You and I have talked about this, a couple of times, man. The way that you have evolved, I think it's so awesome to see you getting married to April and having kids and how that's changed your life and given you a different perspective on so many different things. The way that you run your businesses, the way that you coach, the way, your relationships, your friendships, and it's been awesome to watch, man. It was I've been around you for that a long amount of time,
Yeah.
and the first couple of years, it's real hard to talk to you back then.
Mm-hmm.
It's like one or
Yeah.
two sentences, like, what's going to take to get this guy to liven up a little bit, bro? It's going to be okay. Yeah. Uh-huh. Yep.
Yep. Sure.
So, and now here
Well,
you
I
are,
appreciate that.
you're pouring your soul out, on a podcast, which is, it's massive. I can't even imagine you doing this 8 years ago, sharing your life the way it is. But, it's just, I think that's the beauty part about, first of all, you said is being authentic to yourself and telling yourself, okay, I'm going to be better, and I have to be better for Lincoln and Emma and April and my clients and my coaching and all those different things. And so that being authentic to yourself is, I'm coaching and doing all this and I'm showing them how to do this. So now I have to be it, right? That's why I think the
Mm-hmm.
big thing for me out of this podcast, and I know we have different thoughts on it, which is great. And that's what I love about it. But that's the big thing for me, is talking about this stuff and going over this is constantly reminding us, like, I have to be better. And if I'm not being better, am I really being authentic to the people that mean the most important to me
Mm-hmm.
in my little circle? So
Yep.
anyways, guys, this is what we need from you. Somehow I'm going to get this ending clip out in the front so you can kind of do this when we watch this episode. But anyway, what we really need to do, are you being authentic to yourself? Are there things that you pushed off and it's really bugging you and you feel like you can't get back to that part, and it's taken away your authenticity of who you really are? Are you telling people you're somebody that you're really not? Are you being authentic with them? So tell us first of all, tell us how you are being authentic into the world that you're at. And if you're struggling with, like, I'm scared to show this, and so I just feel like I can't get there, and I want to be authentic with them, but I can't because I'm too nervous to say that. Leave us a comment, DM us if you're feeling a little bit more safer behind that, and let us read that on air. Andy does a really good job of putting it into comments on YouTube. If you want to put it on Spotify, whatever, but YouTube is the best way for us to pick this up, or just leave us a comment on Facebook or Instagram or on X, whatever. And we'll get those and read those. But tell us how that you're being authentic with yourself right now, or where you're struggling to be authentic. And let's work through that together, because the way that you pay us is taking a golden nugget or letting us help you through it and go sharing that with the other way. We don't ask for monetary things and buy books or whatever yet.
Hey, but if you want to send us sackfuls of $100 bills, we will equally distribute those amongst all of the charities that we support. And we won't even take a cut like most charities do. So, but I don't want to go down that road. That's another slippery slope that I got to complain about. So,
all right, I understand. So, guys, have a great week. Again, leave us your comments. If you haven't done so yet, hit that subscribe button, hit that notification bell on whatever channel you're on. And so when we get these new episodes out, again, we are on Spotify, YouTube, Apple Music, Amazon Music, iHeartRadio, all the big ones. So if you like it, we'll send the link out to it. But anyways, hit that subscribe button, hit that thing. Most of all, share the freaking show. We need to get this stuff out. And really, this is our way to throwing another starfish back in the ocean and saving one more. So have a great week. Stay safe. But most of all, guys, God bless.
And go make a damn difference.
Yeah, that too.